So now in this example, I want to set this logic to be somewhere else. I basically want to create our own module. So let's go back here. I'm going to create a new folder. In fact, I can do that here. Let me focus here. Oh, there it goes, new folder. I'll call this business. This is where my business logic is going to be. Focus here, make sure you're right there. I'm going to say here, new file, and I'll call this midterm.js. This will contain my midterm grades. Okay. I'll call this here get midterm status. This will take in a score from the outside world, and for that to work, let me grab this logic here. This logic is the logic that I need. In fact, I'll grab both these logics here. Keep the page really clean. Okay. So I'll say here, this is the score that's coming from the outside world. Let me save this for a second. Why is this complaining? Oh, because I don't have the keyword function. And there it goes, it's complaining. So this is the score coming from the outside world. And in fact, just to keep it consistent, I'll keep this input score like that, okay? And what I want to do is I want to return the word. When this is finished, I want to return the midterm status, just like we did before, and the input score. Okay. And I'll put here message. Okay. And this message, I'll say here let message. I'll make it equal to null by default. Okay. So by default it has nothing in it. When the score comes in, we'll convert it into a number. We get that number, we decide if we'll do a comparison to see if it's greater or equal to 65. If it is, we'll return passing. If it's not, it'll be failing. Now here comes this message here, okay? We're going to say here, if midterm status greater than 100, then we're going to say here message is equal to invalid range. Cannot be greater than 100. And here we'll do another if statement here. I'll do an else if statement. If it's lower than a 0, cannot be less than 0. Now remember, the whole idea was not to place all this logic right here in this index page. That would have made this area crowded and harder to maintain. Now remember what I said here. Your code should be, I'm going to close this terminal for a second. Your code should be short, to the point, do one thing really well, and it should be testable. You should be able to test it. So in the next video, we're going to test this by itself. Make sure it works before we plug it into our web resource. Okay? With that, good luck and good coding.